Hi everyone, it's Dr. Nkosi Darnell, aka Techie SLP, owner of Clearview Speech and Consulting Services, and I am looking forward to talking with you about communication skills. Lately, I've been receiving a lot of messaging from parents requesting videos and help with understanding communication skills, specifically for younger children who are not speaking yet or who might have a speech impairment. So I really want to just do a quick informational video on what communication looks like at an early age, and specifically the precursor of joint attention that's related and a foundational piece for communication skills. So let's get started and just dive right into communication. Now, when we're talking about communication, we're actually talking about the exchange of information from one person to another. We're relaying information to another person, whether we're saying something verbally, whether we're saying it non-verbally. Examples might be we're talking, we're writing, we're using sign language, and it can be verbal or non-verbal, like I said. Now, whenever we talk about becoming an effective communicator, we need to know how that takes place and how to help our children become the best communicators that they can be. Now, communication consists of two different parts. It's being able to relay information in an expressive way, such as verbally or through sign language for those who are not able to speak, for instance. And then also being able to pick up on those nonverbal cues and those messages that are being relayed to us by looking at someone's body language, their posture, things like that. Now, for our children who have a speech and language deficit, this can be a considerable obstacle for them to attain. And so we as teachers, as speech language pathologists, as parents, as allied professionals can really play a key role in helping our children develop strong communication skills. Now, the precursor, as I was saying, to communication is joint attention. Joint attention is foundational to developing healthy communication skills in children. When we talk about it, we're really talking about the establishment of a connection between two people as they both realize that they share an interest in the same object, event, people, or concepts, ideas, and so on. But they are doing it together. Now, there are three specific components that I want you to keep in mind when we're talking about joint attention. We're looking at number one, attention, and that's when two or more people are paying attention to the same object. Okay, so within this picture example I gave you, we have both the baby and her father looking at a book. So they're both attending to the same object. The second part is that of emotions. Now, when there are two or more people who share an emotional state. So you have these two individuals looking at the book and they're sharing an emotional state, like perhaps joy at reading the story, enjoyment, happiness, things like that. And then also intentions, right? So when two or more people are trying to accomplish the same goal, and you both know that you're doing that. So like within this example, you see the father and daughter trying to read the book. So that is the goal for this specific activity. Now, it's hard to know whether or not your child is exhibiting attention, right? Joint attention for this talk. And so some key areas to look for is their eye contact. Where are they looking at? Are they looking at the object that you're looking at and trying to get them to attend to? Or is their attention elsewhere or kind of scattered? What about listening or making sounds? Are they making sounds to try and get your attention, like to try to get your attention as mom or dad? And also sometimes associated with this, are they pointing to a specific object and trying to get you to focus on it? So they might be making a sound, and pointing at the same time. If they have some key sounds within their repertoire, or some simple words, then they might say bah, bah for bottle or for ball. That would be a signification, or excuse me, that's not a word, but that would signify some joint attention. Or are they verbally giving you directions like, hey, mom, look at that? And that would be for a child who's a bit more advanced. Now, something to keep in mind is that this is a skill that actually begins to develop very early on. At 9 months of age, exactly, you should start to see this skill emerging. And it should be solidified by 18 months of age. So children should have a very strong grasp of the skill when they are about a year and a half old. If you don't see these skills within your child at this point, that is the time that you're going to want to consider seeking help, okay? Because the inability of a child to establish joint attention may be an indication of atypical neurodevelopmental, like a disorder specifically. And you really want to consult your primary care physician at that point, because that just might be what we call a soft neurological sign that they're experiencing some difficulty engaging with others. And you really need that engagement in order to facilitate good communication. Now, I want to just let you know this was just a very brief discussion. I wanted to give you an introduction to overall communication skills. And I want you to know that if you follow me on YouTube under Techie SLP, I'm going to be sharing specific activities that you can incorporate into your daily routines to enhance joint attention in your child, as well as overall communication. And then I'm also going to be talking about average communication norms for both boys and girls, as well as the characteristics that you should look for, signifying that there might be a speech or language deficit. I'm going to give you some tools that you can use, like, checklists, things like that, ages and stages as far as guidelines, so that you're able to take a little view to see whether or not your child may be experiencing some difficulty. We're going to talk about play, because you know what? Play is a child's way of learning, right? That's just what they do at this early age, and that's the norm. And it's the easiest way to teach children, right? So I'm going to teach you some different techniques that you can use, as well as talk about the different types of play, because there are many different types of play and levels that children go through. So we really want to foster that in them. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this brief little talk about communication in relation to joint attention, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Okay, take care and God bless.